Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Yes, indeed. This is a new adventure to an old adventure, which make it a continual adventure. Yes, my name is CC, and I am here representing life. Normally I start at 7 o'clock to 8, but unfortunately, the show before us ceased to exist. It fell off into wherever shows go after they stop showing, into that abyss of the thoughts and minds that are wrapped up in a person's head that would not be exercised at the present time. At least not in this time slot, because I'm here. So, if you haven't had the opportunity to meet me, well, this is a good time. Maybe. It might not be a good time. But either way, just sit back and enjoy the show. Yes, indeed. You have fallen into life and the way it rolls. My tonight's guest hasn't showed. So you have to deal with me. He said he will be here. And I must take the gentleman at his word. I'm really pretty sure I can take him for his word. So if you get the opportunity when he gets here and want to make phone calls and talk and ask questions, the phone number is 414-935-2951. 414-935-2951. And of course, as life goes on, this is a shout out to the Chicago area, 414-935-2951. Call us. Yes, indeed. And then you can just call us and sit in and talk on life. My guest tonight was a rear admiral. And he was in the submarine division. So that's going to be an interesting guest, but he's coming up the rear right now. So, if you have anything that you would like to ask, or if you'd like to swing the show your way, this is the time that you can call in and say what you have to say. So, give me a call if you can, and I'll talk to you then. Well, as life goes, I know that tonight, somewhere within this system, I'm supposed to say hi to Shanae.
Yeah, I will. I'll give her your best.
Well, no. I'm saying hi to Shanae for you. Which Shanae are you talking about? Well, just give your name and she'll know who you are.
Shanae Smith.
Oh, Shanae Smith. All right. Here's a shout out to you, girl. For the man of man's a man's. He wanted to let you know. Yes, indeed. And I know somewhere within the midst of all the videos that this store handles, from classic to the ones that you cannot find hardly no more, this store will find it for you. Now, that's not an advertisement, because I'm not supposed to advertise. Anyway, I know amongst all these videos, there's a Harry Potter running through here. Yes. And I know he's in the bookstore here somewhere. So is Harry Potter in the bookstore tonight? I thought I saw you. Well, just like Harry Potter in the movie, it's hard to take him and see him when he's cloaked. But it's a young gentleman that stops in and get his video with his sidekick, his mom, and spitting at your Harry Potter. So I always tease him. So, have you heard the latest news of things that ceased to overwhelm your mind just because Obama won again in this election? People are taking their lives? How ironic is that? Some gentleman took his life and his wife because Obama was reelected. Now, his whole livelihood was around defense contracts, which that's not going to happen too much lately. You know, and so, but I don't think that was worth eliminating what life is all about. But somebody's lady runned over her husband because she voted and he didn't vote, and Obama won. Interesting concepts. America, wake up. You know, people talk about, you know, how it was the suburbanites that brought Obama forth. You know, that's just the urban type of a word that's saying that the blacks did it. Well, yeah, they came out in groves, but everybody came out in groves. It was not just one, it was us all. It was we, the people, stood up. Not the way it went was we the corporation, it went we the people. How you doing, Harry? Yes, indeed. My man Porter, if he looked through the window, he just walked by. So, anyway, we just got together and said we just got tired. You know, because our Constitution did say we the people, not we the corporations. And they're complaining, you know, okay, well, he wants to charge them 30%, you know, of their yearly gross over such and such amount of money. Well, hey, we pay 30% every week out of our paychecks. So, come on. You know, your corporation is making billions and billions of dollars, you know, a year, a quarter. Billions. I mean, 100,000 millions is a billion. And you're making billions on top of billions in a quarter? And you want to holler about, oh, don't tax me? Come on. Face reality. It is the middle class people that support this country. Don't keep stepping on us.
I'll see you soon. All right, Bill. Yeah.
And we don't ask for much. All we ask for is respect. That's it. Respect. And it seems like you don't want to even allot us that much. Where we walked in your shadows. And we have stepped forward and voiced our opinion. But let it be known, it shall not stop here. It shall not stop with getting together to elect or re-elect our president, the commander-in-chief, for 4 more years. This is a movement that should have been moved a long time ago. Maybe it was already once moved, and that was in the 60s. Of course, it was classified as being hippies, who has turned out to be yuppies, who has turned out, some of them. I don't want to pay the taxes because they're making billions and billions of dollars. But that's the way the cycle runs. And quoting a British group, we get by with their help from our friends. And as I always said, we are brothers and sisters of this world. You know, we don't mean just like any other family. We don't necessarily have to get along with each other always. But we should always respect each other. So, if you have an opinion about that, you know how to call. Let your fingers do the walking. And that's 935-2951. 935-2951. And it's a 414 call. If you want to know, it's Milwaukee. Because I do know that I have friends in France and Canada that listen to this show. So, that would be truthfully a long-distance call. But anyway, I want to say hi to all. So, I'm sitting here in my storefront on Center Avenue. I'm watching things that goes by, and some things seems true. And just as I was gazing out, 2 cars pulled up across the street with POLICE. For a moment, it bothered me. Wait, I'm from the hood. That's where I was raised. When you see that black and white, you know it's just time to get out of those streets, especially if it's at night. So they just go into the store that's next door, or one store that they call the Fuel. Now, I'm not advertising for them people, because you know I can't do that. And I'm very true. Because I can't use profanity and no copyrighted music. And I have to clean up my space when I'm done. So, when I mention the Fuel restaurant, it's just something that's next door to ours. And plus, the Don John just went inside. Well, no one seemed to want to call and relieve this pressure within. I'm just sitting here talking like eternity. I done forgot where I began. But I do know my time would have to span over 2 hours. Ooh, that's a hard way to go. I think I might can make 2 hours. But the problem is, can you? I mean, I do get carried away in thoughts. And things do cross my mind. Sometimes I talk political. and sometime I talk crime. If I look at those two very close, their relationship seems awful near. So when you're talking about life and them, I guess both of them would make it clear. Do you stop and enjoy the things that you have so near? Those little knickknacks. Or maybe it's just the love of someone that's all so dear. So either way, do you enjoy? Or have you went to the point of neglect? Stop and take a check, my friend. Just mention, so you don't forget. Now let me drift into another dimension. Something else is in my mind. And I would love to have phone calls on this. And you can call anytime. Should we legalize pot or decriminalize it as it should be? Should we get rid of this stigma that they covers it? So the government can ease and make money, you see. Should marijuana be legalized? That's one question I'd like to have answers on. Now, from my standpoint, yeah, I think it should. I have never seen nobody that has done it and go out and beat up somebody. And people used to say that marijuana was here from the Indians. Well, marijuana is not a plant that was brought here or was originated here by the Indians. Actually, marijuana was brought into Italy by the Moors. And the Moors brought it in because they used it as what we use it for today. And then it ended up, of course, when the Moors went into Italy, we got Sicilians. Okay, guys, don't get upset with me. Don't get upset. Hey, your brothers. What can I say? I know. That was a long, long, long time ago. I know. But once you turn black, you can't go back. It's in your blood, bruh. Anyway, when the people, the English came to the United States, they were shipbuilders. So they brought hemp into the United States. And that was how marijuana began being grown in the United States. And it was a very good product. And it was commonly used, even our president, George Washington, recommended to all his friends to sit back and smoke. It helped his false teeth. So, marijuana had its rights all the way through the 20s. Well, of course, cocaine came in with coke. But That's a different subject on a different book for a different story at a different time. We're talking about marijuana at this time. Do you think it should be legalized? Hold on. Let me get an outside opinion. Excuse me, sir. Yes, sir. Can I ask you a question? Can you join life? Sit down if you may. Grab a microphone. I got all of them lit up. That's the way I ride when I'm at home, you know. I don't have to pay the wee bill energy here tonight. I can light the whole place up. Tell the people your name.
My name's Andrew.
Andrew, yes, sir. Oh, my partner in Canada's name is Andrew. Hey, hey, Andrew. Andrew said hi. Yo. Okay. Never mind. I get carried away. No, I'm sorry, Andrew.
It is radio after all.
Yes, it's live radio. You know, and you know.
Community radio too, which is amazing.
Yes. I like this man already. Although he saved my life, helped me bring in a different perspective, because I assumed you were going to talk to me, myself, and I. And really, you don't want to talk to me and myself and I because we have conversations all the time. You know, different story, different book. But what do you think? Do you think that marijuana should be legalized?
I do, and I was happy to see that it gained recreational use in Washington and Colorado.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see how that turns out. I would wait to see what happens in those two states over a year, 2 years, whatever. See how the economy reacts, how people react. It's an amazing thing that's happening in America right now, where you actually get to see the effects of legalizing marijuana. It's some of the only places in the world where pot is legal, and you can go out and purchase it and smoke it and have a good time. And my personal thought on marijuana usage is it's no worse than drinking. It's no worse than, half the other things that you can put inside of your body. And if you're just using it to relax, or some people use it medicinally for back pain, mental anguish, what have you, it does a lot of people good. It does a lot more good than it does harm, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And if you really want to stop from going over the cliff, make marijuana legal.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, throw that tax on it.
Yeah, especially you see what cigarette taxes do. Brings in a lot of money.
Right, and cigarette does more harm to you than the marijuana.
I mean, studies aren't conclusive, but yeah, I would have to agree with you.
Well, if it's
It's not as addictive as nicotine is. That's for
right.
sure.
Yes, it's not as addictive. It don't have as much chemicals in it.
And you're not smoking as much of it.
Right.
As you would cigarettes
Right.
or pipe tobacco, cigars.
And then the quality of the product will go up.
Mm-hmm. Well, the quality of marijuana has gone up substantially since the 60s because it was out in the open. It was part of the mainstream back then. And it went underground with all these people who found out what made marijuana tick and, what they could crossbreed it with to get more potent strains, different effects. So we're kind of living in a cannabis paradise at the moment. I mean, there are well over 50, maybe 100 strains out there, different types. You can grow it pretty much anywhere with little resources too.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of micro breweries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like beer. Back in the 60s, pot was like Miller or Pabst.
right.
And nowadays you get more things like Lakefront, even though that's kind of a bigger brewery now, but New Glarus, or you get small craft.
Well, one of the best growers of marijuana has always been the University of Mississippi.
Has it?
Yes. They have cultivated a lot of strains, different
I
strains,
believe it.
and a lot of the different strains that you see out on the street come from them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it gives people an opportunity to expand their mind on growth. And you want to talk generics, we went from hydroponics, to air grown.
Air grown. I'm not familiar with that yet.
Okay, you know. Well, it's like hydroponic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except not water
Yes.
in the air. I don't know. It's new to me. I'll have to look it up when I get home.
So, um, now I'm not, I'm not saying, if they change that and change the law, then I wonder will they give amnesty to all these young people, some of them are older now, that got caught with.
They've actually already started doing that. If you haven't seen that, I saw an article on CNN the other day that was saying that the courts were in the process of releasing people that were held on petty drug charges involving marijuana to the current law, which I believe allows you to have 1 ounce on you or less. So I mean, anything that was over that, I believe, is still in the system, but those petty offenses are going away and people are starting to be released.
Well, that's a good thing.
Mhm.
That's a good thing.
It saves the taxpayers a lot of money because they don't have to pay for the imprisonment of those people.
Well, and the reason they went there is to make money.
They're making money and saving money at the same time.
Well, no, well, yeah, now they are. But I'm talking about marijuana was used to put people behind bars, so that
Especially in poor urban neighborhoods.
yeah, and it was well, like a Jim Crow Act, except that once the prisons went to become a stock market. When it went on the stock market, I think it was, don't quote me, but Reagan, when he went in, there was maybe 200,000 people in prison.
Okay.
And when he went out, it was 2 million.
Oh, wow. That is quite an increase.
Yes, in 8 years. But he picked up the 1, 2, 3 strike from California and instigated into, switched it around, instigated into the state. And then if he got caught 3 times with marijuana,
That's it.
you went to prison as a felon. And so they could make that 150,000 plus for holding you in prison.
And you're in the same class as murderers and
Yes.
pederasts.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as he can make the buck off you.
Mhm.
That's all that mattered.
That's always what's only mattered.
Right. As long as when the end of the day and the stock market closed, the stock was on top. And there was just a lot of people was crying to get in there. So, but I think it does. I think it needs to be rectified. And I think we should turn loose a lot of our feather brothers and sisters, and re-put them back into our society.
Agreed. Personally, I'd like to see it more on a case-by-case basis, depending on the severity of the quote-unquote crime.
Well, quantity makes a difference too.
Yeah, it always does.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 2 ounces on you and you're still in there, probably wasn't that big of a deal. But if you have pounds on you, maybe you need to...
Kilos, you need.
Yeah, maybe you need to stay in there because, I mean, chances are you're not just dealing in marijuana. You're probably dealing in harder drugs too.
Right. Well, I used to sit back and watch the police watch a house, and they're building their case. And people,
the man that's been there for 2 or 3 days hasn't moved.
well, no, it's more of people coming and going. And then what they do is they wait, and then they catch the person leaving down the street and bust him, and let him sit there.
Yeah, it's almost like a mousetrap.
Oh yeah, right. Except the mouse is making big money and you're busting
The little one.
the little one, you know. But by busting the little ones, you can feed the court system.
Mm-hmm.
You could tax them, you could fine them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then you can let this other guy get big enough,
Where you can take them down too,
and then get the,
someone will take their place.
and then get the drug money
Uh-huh.
and the cars and the house,
drugs.
and then and then they can resell it.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
get all the cars put on police auction.
Right, right, right. And any drugs that caught goes to the police force. They can get split up and use it whichever way they want to use it.
Yeah.
You know. So, but in the meantime, it destroys the neighborhood.
It does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And they cannot see in their eyes that they're destroying the neighborhood.
No.
You know.
Because they don't see things the same way that civilians do. They
No.
see more, go out, get the criminals, doesn't matter what havoc does
Well-
to the community, because they think they're helping their community.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases they are, but
It's you know, it's a vicious circle because it keeps them working.
it is. And that's why it'll be interesting to see how the legalization of marijuana will turn out.
Right. Well, you know, and I think I'm looking at it. At least it'll free the police department up to do more other things than bust paraphernalia.
Like investigate violent crimes.
Right, right, and theoretically, if they went after the big guy, the one that's paying underneath the table, and I know they do. We all know they do.
Yeah. They're no
Yeah.
different than we are.
Yeah, yeah, and because in this society, we have gotten to the point where we think money controls everything, money makes everything, and our our, our soul and our respect can be sold for a buck. You know,
Not to mention our dignity.
yes, very much so. You know, so. It's just a matter. I think it was one time someone said to me, he had asked this lady, you know, if she would make love to him for $1 million. And she looked at him. She said, "Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I would make love to you for $1 million." You know.
Was he bad looking or something?
Well, well, it was just he was average, and
One of my friends has a saying, everybody looks the same with a paper bag over their head.
yeah, very true, very true. You know, and then he said to her, he said, "Well, can I get $10 worth?" And then she said, "No." And he said, "Well, you're still a prostitute. It's just how much money you gonna take to do it." You know? And no matter, somebody can pay somebody enough money to turn their eye and look another way while they make that money that day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we prostitute ourselves daily, whether it's, in the confines of a paycheck and getting your W-2 for taxes, or, out on the street selling drugs or selling your body or someone else's body.
Yes, very true, very true. And that's what I remember one time when I was in junior college, I wrote a paper that said the president is a pimp and Congress are pimps.
Who was president during that time?
During that time,
But I suppose it kind of reaches.
it's all president, but
Presidents?
during that time it was Nixon.
Okay, well, that's very founded then.
And I said, and the United States the whore.
Not to mention all the other countries that they were spying on, invading, fighting.
Oh yeah. Well, see, no, That's an interesting concept that you brought up to be such a young man. But but then that tells me that well, just in the general conversation, you keep up on your news and
I try to. It's so hard these days with,
so much.
yeah. But luckily, the internet's a wonderful tool. If you are really into researching something, you have the ability to do that.
Well,
I'm not the most informed person, but I'm certainly not a charlatan.
well, that's a good thing because America needs that, you know. And see, we're the only country that don't look at our government,
But we should.
right? Right. You go to England, you can go in the park, and they always have a platform, and they're talking about the government. They sit around.
I think we do that more nowadays, or maybe that's just my thinking because we just got through a really long election. Everyone was talking about politics for months.
Well, yes, yes. Well, I have to admit that this is the year. This is the this well. This is um, since Obama ran for president, we have become more astute in politics than we have over the century. More people are more interested in politics than any other president.
Yeah, because there's there was a lot that went wrong with the Bush administration, and I like to believe that people learn from that and will actually pay more attention to their government and what they're doing, especially with their tax dollars.
Yeah. Well, and at the same time, um, let's face it. You know, they, there was, you're talking about seeing changes. In my day, I would never thought about seeing a black man in president of the United States.
Well, hopefully in 2016 there will be a woman president,
Well,
or whoever can
Well-
do the job.
yeah. Well, if she can do the job,
Yeah,
God bless her. And let her come. And if she's got the right floor mat and showing the right stuff, yeah, she's got my vote.
personally, I'm hopeful for Hillary Clinton run for the president's office. But I don't know. I think she might be done with politics now.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and it's way too early to tell, anyways.
But I'm looking for, I'm looking for a flip flop. I'm looking for,
The pendulum to come back the other way.
huh?
The pendulum to come back.
Oh,
the
for
other
the
way.
Republicans?
They need to do a lot of reforming, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's another whole conversation.
But I'm looking for the flip flop of the point that next in the next after the next 4 years, when the next election comes up,
Hmm.
Obama runs for vice president.
I don't know. Can you do that?
Yes,
Can
you
be
can.
president and then?
Yes, you can.
Huh.
Yes, you can. There is no reason why you can't.
I suppose so.
None.
What
You just can't be president no
what
more.
What if the president is incapacitated in some way, and you were the president for 2 full terms, and then you're the president again, maybe for another 3-4 years?
Hmm.
That's an interesting thought.
Well, yeah, but from my standpoint, it would be a great thought.
Mhm.
What better way to keep tabs on the country? Keep moving it.
And have the same guy to look at. Or girl.
Where they can groom each other, where you won't have that stagnant. This is where I left off at. Check this out.
Yeah.
And I'll go around and pick up the diplomats and wine and dine them and talk to them, and
Essentially Bill Clinton's role these
Yes.
days.
yes, very, very much so.
He's a showman. And he was a great president. People overlook a lot of the bad things that happened in that presidency due to the last, God, 12 years.
Yeah. Well, you know, he. How you doing? We have this lovely lady. She was standing in front of the mirror. Look at it. Look at it. There you go. You gotta move back up that way. But anyway, so um, what do you like to see move forward since the election has been over with?
Like, what policies or what things would I like to see happen in the country?
Yes.
Um, it's a really broad question. I would probably.
It's life, man. You're on life.
Yeah.
How broad can you get?
I don't know. I just try to live my own life and be in my circle and just try and do as much good for the people around me. And I hope that more people act like that, aren't as selfish. I'd like to see maybe people in the quote unquote 1% maybe be a little more giving to the people that actually need their help. I'd like to see pay equality for women, definitely. I think I read the last statistic was a woman makes 73 or 74 cents to a man's dollar. And that's not right. They work hard as hard as men do, sometimes harder, and they can do a lot of the same things. But my perspective is formed by cooking. I work with a lot of men and women, people of different races, orientations, different life situations, and I love seeing the equality that food really brings out of people, and just the culture of it too. So, I'd like to see there be a little more equality.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with the equality because you know, from my standpoint, you know, I put females on a pedestal.
As it should.
Very much so. And I'll be the first one to tell you, you know, wasn't for a female, there's nothing I would have achieved, done, or been able to do.
Everyone has a mother.
Yes, yes. And I guarantee I would not have carried myself for 9 months unless someone put up with me after I was born. Oh, God. Thank you, Mom. But, yes. And, you know, a female can take more pain, can put up with more, something, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, and have more patience. And all those.
And they put up with us.
Yes. You know, and all those qualities makes for excellent basis of being a good candidate. And then put intelligent behind it, makes an outstanding candidate. And if you,
and a very attractive one at that. Intelligent women, nothing like them.
oh, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it isn't. You know, because when it's all said and done, and you're sitting back in that rocking chair, and you look over at her, it's the conversation that keeps your heart thumping. You know?
Even the moments in between the conversation.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need to speak a word, you can just look.
Yeah. Had those days too. Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So you're in the commissary.
I am indeed.
Excellent. And what is your forte?
I cook mostly French, Italian, and Spanish food. also like cooking other foods like Mediterranean, Turkish, whatever. I also brew beer, and I make my own ice cream. I like experimenting with foods, flavors.
Interesting. So who do you work for?
I work at Pastiche Bistro and Wine Bar over in Bayview. I'm the lead lunch cook over there.
Okay.
I'm also in charge of the beer menu.
Oh, okay. What was that again?
The restaurant?
Yeah.
Pastiche Bistro?
Pastiche Bistro?
Yes.
Okay, what street?
It's on Kinnickinnick. The address is 3001 South Kinnickinnick. We're about 2 blocks.
Kinnickinnick.
Yeah.
What the heck is a Kinnickinnick?
Kinnickinnick means.
That film Cork.
I forgot. I saw it on the back of
Oh,
Great Lakes Distillery Kinnickinnick whiskey bottle a while ago.
You work on Kinnickinnick Street?
I do. It's a mouthful.
Kinnickinnick. Come on.
Or we just call it KK. It's
Oh,
nice.
hell, we don't call it nothing around me, KK, bro. Yeah, that's too close.
Or you can add more.
No. Nick is good enough, you know.
All right. Let's do that. I do know it's a Native American.
Okay.
I do know that.
You know.
Something
Yeah.
about good fortune or something along those lines.
Oh, okay.
Or,
You know.
Or actually blending. I think it was blending of culture.
You know, it just you know, threw me off a little bit because, you know, you guys talk about hodads up here.
Yeah, the mythical hodag. It's our chupacabra, or our Bigfoot, if you will.
Man. Oh, come on. Come on, man.
You ever seen the picture? The old black and white picture? It's about 20 hunters in the woods and
Man, I went up north. I went up north with a friend of mine, and we partied. He disappeared for a while, and came back, and getting married.
He got married while he was gone?
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, and had a party, and you could. If you had $25, you can go with the lady, and then when you get done, you can meet the whole dad. Yeah, he was the bartender.
Well, I'd imagine you'd need a drink after that.
Yeah. And that's the only whole dad I ever seen in my life. You know? Well, back to Nick Mac. Welcome to life.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
been an interesting ride so far.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm glad you haven't walked off. But
No reason to.
yeah. So yeah. Well, I'm a cook. You know.
Home, work.
Oh no, home now. I used to work. I used to open up restaurants.
Nice.
You know, and
It's not easy, so major props to you for being able to open a restaurant and just it's a lot of work and it's very stressful.
yeah. Then you walk away from it.
Yeah. You know, essentially you train somebody to take your place and then you're gone.
Right.
You do all the work, got things smoothing or sailing smoothly. Out of there.
Well, but I got French apple sweet potato pie.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's exactly where it rose too. That's exactly where it rose. Took me 5 years to design it, but I got it down. And I got what I call slick greens.
What are those?
Ooh.
I'm interested.
Well, maybe you have to come around where we can talk.
I see where you're going.
You know, these are food designs that I've designed. You know, and I say eventually I will have a restaurant. And you know, occasionally I'll work here and there. Last job I had, I would make maybe 6 pounds of lasagna for their lunch.
It's pretty time consuming.
Uh,
Those big hotel pans, laying down the noodles and sauce and cheese.
right, right. And then all the different textures, though,
Oh yeah.
because I always, I'm a very astute person toward texture. You know, I do not want the same taste or the same texture in any bites. You know, so when you pick up that next spoonful, you have a similarity
With something different.
with something different. And that is the essence of good food.
Look at ice cream.
Yes.
Putting
When,
in brownie pieces, caramel in it. You got so many different textures in every bite.
right. And that's the one thing, good thing you mentioned that. If you really want to know if food's really good, take hot food, let it get cold. And if it still tastes real good, that's an excellent, excellent dish.
Hey, I prefer cold pizza to hot pizza. It's the best breakfast in the world.
Well, I prefer a hot piece over a cold piece anytime.
I think you can say that.
What were we talking about?
Food.
Oh,
And,
it's same
well,
thing. Same
lot of
thing.
things. The world,
Food.
women, politics, marijuana, everything
Yeah.
in between. Food and marijuana, good combination.
Uh,
Can think up some pretty interesting stuff when you're stoned.
never tried that. Yes, indeed. I gotta do it too. No, I don't do that.
I had a friend that once baked Cheerios and cheese in the oven. Said she loved it.
Cheerios and cheese.
Yeah, just put, I don't know if it was cheddar or slices of American, but just Cheerios and cheese.
Oh, ain't bad. Ain't bad. I might have to look into that.
I mean, I wouldn't try it with Cinnamon Toast Crunch or anything like that.
Why?
Just can't see it being good.
Well, until you
Maybe
test,
Raisin Bran.
until you tested it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that when I get home.
You know, yeah. Before you can say if it's going to taste good, you got to test it. Now, you can take it and then run through your mind what would be comparable to make it taste good. Now, I'm going to use threaded wheat, cinnamon, and maybe I'll mix in some raspberry shredded wheat.
There you go.
You know, put that down in a bed. Okay, now we got oats and grains with a little fruit.
Oh,
Take and put some cottage cheese over it. Yeah, soft curl, small kernels,
lot of
cottage
different
cheese.
textures.
Yes, and then throw on some yogurt.
With the cottage cheese?
Yes,
What kind of yogurt? Like, just plain yogurt?
maybe a little taste of raspberry.
To go along with the
Raspberry. And see, the cottage cheese gives you the texture, and then the shredded wheat gives you the crunch. So
See that?
the
I
shredded
think
wheat,
I might like that more hot than cold. Though.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, like a bake.
Mhm.
Yes,
That'd be good
yeah,
when you put it all together like that.
right. And if you want it cold, you let it soak in a little bit, and whip it up with some whipped cream.
Maybe you could just make a smoothie out of all of it.
Well, you could do that, or you could turn it into a cheesecake.
Oh yeah, and do like a shredded wheat crust.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You can take those 5-6 ingredients and make
Go.
a lot of different things out of
Go
it.
wild with it. Yes. See, that's what cooking is all about. Oh my goodness gracious me. Remember those two gendarmes that I was talking about that was across the street that went over into the restaurant to have something to eat that scared the heck out of me? Well, they just did it again. They just flipped them lights on, and I was about ready to jump up against the wall, put my hands up against the wall and say I didn't do it. And didn't even know what was going on.
Do you?
Huh?
You don't have any warrants out, do you?
Well, anyway, back to the story. No, I don't. Do I? No, I don't. You know. Let me think. No, I don't. I'm cool. I'm cool. Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
I once had a warrant out for my arrest, but turns out it wasn't me, and the police officer just typed in my middle initial wrong. Scared the hell out of me for a little bit. Sitting in the back of a squad car.
that's like old home week for me. Yeah. I, I've been running through my neighborhood and they stopped me and put me in the back of the car.
Because you're running through your neighborhood.
Yeah. You know, and well, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, but I went to work at 5, and so I would do my martial art running before I started to work.
Gotta stay in shape. I mean, if you exercise before you work, your stress level way lower than it would be normally.
Yeah.
You got the blood flowing.
Right, right. I'm already got to work up before I even start working. My body's already moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's already in overdrive.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to start doing something that you got to do, and you got to do it and be precise about it, you always want to start ahead of time and get worked up, because then you're at your peak when you walk through the door. When you walk through your door, you're at your peak. Boom, everything falls in place. Everything just goes smoothly. Then by the end of the day, when everything's starting to catch up with you, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
It's done.
And you can go home and relax.
Right. And smile all day long, and people wonder what's going on, like Marvin Gaye. You know. So, but yes. But we have to sit back and talk sometime on food.
Well,
You know,
do you normally do shows at this time?
Yes, on Friday. This is life.
This is life.
Yes. Matter of fact, this is the first 6 o'clock run officially. I've done it before when someone had dropped off, but they hadn't shown up. So I took their spot and my spot too. I'm a greedy person. Greedy, 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 greedy. Not Guido. I'm not Sicilian. I'm not with the Moors. Remember I was talking about that earlier.
Jersey.
Huh?
I'm assuming. And you're not from Jersey, I'm assuming.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not from Jersey. You know. Louisiana. Yes, indeed.
Very nice. Whereabouts?
Huh?
Whereabouts?
Oh, well, I was raised in Shreveport.
Okay. My girlfriend's actually got some family that lives down there.
Well, just sitting there.
Wow.
I've only been, I've been to Nolans, I believe you said.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Well,
New Orleans, if you're not from there.
I still got family down there.
You
So,
get to see him going home for Thanksgiving?
huh?
You ever get to see him? Are you going home for Thanksgiving?
No, I'm not going home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's
Yeah.
gotta be a lot nicer down there than it is up here, weather-wise.
Oh well, weather don't bother me. All my sunshine, all my heat comes from all my friends. You know, and that's what matters. So Thanksgiving, I'm gonna go run with some Jamaican friends of mine. You know, they gonna talk dominoes. They gonna play dominoes. They gonna eat goat. I'm gonna eat goat. No, I'm not gonna do no marijuana.
Well, you are hanging out with some Jamaicans, so you can tell why some people would maybe assume that
Yes, I was just letting you know.
it's a bad stereotype.
Yes, do not stereotype them because they are Jamaica. But we're gonna go over there, and I'm gonna sit back, and these are some of the partners that every now and then we go to Jamaica, and there's like 20 of us, and with their family, there's like 40 of us, and we tack the hotel, we control it. Oh,
They
Where-
must love you guys too because you're giving them so much money, putting up 20 people, whatever. So
that's why.
they must really like that you're spending money in their hotel, like to rent the rooms and whatnot.
That's why we control it.
Yeah.
Money talks,
Mhm.
and we don't eat the commercial Jamaican food that they serve all that tourists. They had to go get some true Jamaican cooks to bring it out and have some true Jamaican food. And that's why to run as a pack.
Hmm.
Because when you run as a pack, it's cheaper. And you can carry all your friends and have a good time. And then you could save about 500 some dollars by running in a group.
Hmm.
You know, and then at the same time, you got your friends, you got to relax,
You
and
got some new surroundings.
yeah,
Meet some new people. Have some new experiences.
right, right.
It's always a good time. Then you get to come back and tell your other friends about it, maybe, or I don't know.
No, normally I just come back and just enjoy the hell out of it. I know normally I don't let people know I even left town. You know, it's just more of um,
A hassle, maybe.
huh?
More of a hassle, maybe.
Well, it's just I usually keep things quiet. You know, I'm one of them people that tiptoe through life,
Hmm.
enjoy the heck out of it. You know, but once you run through it, you just enjoy it over and over and over. You never really talk about it. It's one of them selfish things that you keep inside. You know, that's like a love of all the 40, 50 people uniting, sitting down at tables and dinner at one time. And it was like a banquet, you know. Um,
Telling stories, drinking, eating good food, having a good time.
right, 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 you know, and making history,
Hmm.
you know. So,
Even if it's just personal history.
right, right, it's history,
Hmm.
yeah. And, see, and so that's, I hadn't seen him, so Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be thankful to go see him in Illinois.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So I'm coming down there. Yo, hey, have the goat ready for me. And jerk chicken. Yeah.
Jerk
Hey,
chicken.
Devon, tell your mom. Love her. Hey. Okay.
Uh,
So,
yeah.
you cook jerk chicken?
Not in a long time. I used to work at a country club where we would have it was a rich like membership only type place where they had a they had their own kiddie pool with a slide and there was a kitchen down there. But every summer we'd have pigs on spits, chickens on spits, and we'd just be sitting out there turning the wheels, making them just 2 3 hours. Put some more jerk marinade on this chicken, or put some more. I forget what we put on the pig, but man, it was quite a feast. And by the end of it, everyone's so drunk they're just taking off their clothes and jumping in the pool. Maybe not all their clothes, but
Okay.
some.
And now for something
That's
totally
kind
different.
of.
You know? Hmm. I ain't never went to no party like that.
Neither have I.
You know, well, that's okay.
Someday.
I haven't been to parties like that, though. Yes, indeed. And my first party that I went like that, well, wait, it really wasn't my first party. Because, anyway, the biggest one I ever went to like that, you guys call it Woodstock.
Uh,
You know, I called it one hell of a week.
that sounds like a wonderful time. The closest I could ever get to that, or at least my imagined idea of the mentality of Woodstock, is probably Bonnaroo down in Tennessee. They have a full farm like I know Woodstock is on, and set up camps, sleeping outside, doing whatever you want. Cops are there; they don't care as long as you're not injuring anyone. You're fine. You can take as many mind-altering substances as you want. Walk around without any clothes if you want. It really doesn't matter down there.
Well, it was like the first time I had seen so many people in true harmony
Hmm.
and true love, true respect. Where everybody shared with everybody.
Food, drink, shelter,
Right.
whatever.
That's it.
Love.
That's it. And of all the time that I was there, I never seen an argument.
Can I ask you a question about Woodstock?
Go ahead.
How do you feel about its portrayal in mainstream culture these days? Do you think people thought of it more? Do you think that people in these times think of Woodstock more as this really happy, cheerful place, or just a bunch of dirty hippies hanging out in the mud?
Well, mm, that is hard to say. Um,
I mean, clearly this is just your personal experience there.
well, it was just a bunch of hippies playing in the mud. Yeah.
Then you got Hendrix.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Well, not only just Hendrix, uh, it was just, yeah, well, it was the first time I ever heard a guitarist that was so astute. And the first time I heard the American anthem ever played on guitar.
The Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
So you actually saw him light his guitar on fire.
Pardon?
So you actually saw him light his guitar on fire.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Why?
Because that moment is so um, I don't know. It's talked about a lot in culture, and
It was just a party.
yeah,
And
he's just having a good time.
yeah, yeah. And he was one of the original ones that started setting the equipment on fire.
And the Who,
Huh?
the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and the Who.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
punk through the '70s and '80s.
Right.
It becomes a spectacle.
Yeah. So, but to me, it was in search of sanity. Because I had just got out of Numb, and I was looking for a place to hide. And
What better place than a farm full of hippies?
well,
Never suspect.
I just happened to hear about this party they're going to have up in New York. You know,
Mhm.
hey, it sounded good to me. And at that time, mind you, I was a different person, different style, and
Everybody is.
yeah, and I was more down to earth than I am now. Well, maybe.
I find that hard to believe. You seem pretty down to earth to me.
Well, I was even more down to earth then. Yeah, because I was down in earth and grabbing my papayas, you know. you
Some
know,
tasty fruit.
huh?
Some tasty fruit.
Yes, yes, yes. I messed around, messing around. I was messing around, yes. And so I just went up there and um, took a bunch of mushrooms,
Oh, those are the best.
and peyote buttons,
Wow, you guys had a wide range
you know.
options.
Yes, 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 yes. Purple microdots too when it first came out. Oh, four ways, four ways.
Next,
Yeah.
you're going to be talking about Quaaludes.
Oh, well, I have to truly admit, when I took the purple microdot, the four-way, I just did it all. And this little thing ain't gonna bother me. And when I got through praying and asking the Lord to get me back to where it was sanity, and I said I would never do it again, I never did it again. You know, no, it was just way too much for me to comprehend. You know,
Very profound effects.
yeah, it was. It was very much so. I was seeing things I didn't really want to see.
Maybe, I'm assuming, but possibly war flashbacks.
Well,
Or,
not as much as war flashbacks, as much as The trees were people, all chained and bound,
That's
and moaning and groaning,
it's like some Francis Bacon stuff right there.
you know, and different things of that nature was flashing through my mind. And then I seen, and actually, at that point in time, it was reality.
Alligators?
No, reality.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, no, it just seemed like it was reality,
Yeah.
you know. And
All trips end though, and that's what you got to keep in mind.
well, yeah, well, I thought this trip wasn't gonna, you know, wasn't gonna leave, you know. So, but it did. I did, and I was done. You know, that was just way too heavy for me, you know, to think about. So anyway, I don't do it anymore. Mind you, I do not do it anymore.
But it was a fun time, possibly. Well, had its moments.
Well, my life has been a fun time all the way through.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed my life immensely,
Good.
you know. So, no, I don't, don't regret nothing, don't hesitate on nothing, and had nothing to complain about,
Can admire that.
you know. Been around the world twice. I've lived a life of 15 mans. I mean, I really lived a life of 15 mans. You know, you know, from skydiving, I've owned all the hottest cars you ever want to own. From 54 Vets to 88 Jaguars V12. You know, my Motor Guzzi's, you know, my BMWs, my Harley Davidson 48s, Suicide Clutch, my Triumphs, my BSA, my Nortons, my 29 dump trucks, my MGs, my Spitfires.
It's a lot of cars.
You know, at one time I owned 14.
Jeez. I'm lucky to even own. Well, I would be lucky to even own one. I bike everywhere.
Well,
Never had too much luck with cars.
you know, even at the point in time when I was at my highlight, and I owned 14 of them, collectibles. I still rode bicycle. I rode it all year round,
Me too.
and I would be 40 miles away from home on a bicycle. And at one point, people thought that I didn't own a car.
You're like, well, I happen to have 14 of them back at my house.
Well, I had one lady at a currency exchange I used to stop at and cash a check all the time on my bike. And finally she came up to me, she said, well, Mr. Carmichael, she says, I notice you ride your bicycle all the time. We see you all over the place. I said, yeah. She said, well, I talked to my husband, and we got this Toyota station wagon in the garage. It runs good. We don't use it. And we decided we would give it to you so you have a car.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you. And
Yeah.
your husband.
Yeah, it was.
It's
It
like
was.
that you didn't need the car.
No. And I thanked her. And I said, you know, I really appreciate it, but I got 14 of them. And she looked at me like,
Yeah, sure you do.
right, yeah, that's about the way she looked at me, like, you know. And then it was 3 weeks later, I came up in my 4x4 truck with my snowplow and cashed my check because I had been out plowing all night long.
You should have just taken a different car each time you went to go cash a
Then
check.
I started doing that. And then summer came, and I showed up in my Jag, and they looked at it, and they said, "You do have all these cars." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Why do you ride a bike?" I said, "'Cause I can."
Yeah, don't take your legs for granted ever.
No, don't take life for granted.
And that
You know.
keep you in shape too.
Well, yeah, it keeps you in shape.
And you can go slow enough where you can actually admire your surroundings.
Yes.
The beauty of the world, the streets, people, buildings, architecture, etc.
Yes. And I enjoyed the winter time with them. Because when I was going up a hill and all them wheels are spinning and people trying to make it up the hill, lifted up, threw it on my shoulder, walked in the snow, waved them as I went up the hill. And sometime when I was riding in the tracks of the streets where the cars had made the tracks and the people are digging their cars out and I'm, hey, hey, and just paddling along. You know, because I didn't have to dig nothing out. I just grabbed, well, I had a truck, I could push it out, but I just grabbed the bike, threw it in gear, and took off.
Yep.
You know, and this was so nice about it. Yeah, no gas.
That too.
No
You're
gas.
your own engine.
Yes, and then in the winter, it's nice and cozy. You really, once you're sweating.
Oh yeah, the first 5 minutes, kind of a pain, but then the blood starts pumping, you start getting those nice hot sweats under your hat, your
Yep.
shirt, whatever, you're good to go.
Yes,
As long as you have a nice pair of boots,
that's it.
you're all set.
That's it.
And some
And gloves.
of course.
Yeah, the gloves. Don't forget the gloves.
I gotta go get some of those tomorrow.
Uh,
It's starting to get a little nippy out there.
Well, I hear you. I hear you. You know, but I'm still behind my cars now.
Yeah.
You know, I will buy another bike somewhere along the line.
Yeah, when the right one comes along.
Yeah, because I seen this kid running behind a bunch of other kids on a bicycle, and then
Like exercising or chasing after them?
well, yeah, running with them to be with them,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I gave him my BMX.
That's really nice of you.
You know. Well, it was all right, yeah. But it's one of BMX first bikes they built when BMX made an all-terrain bike. That's how they started out. And they had the all-chrome model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the pipes for the back too, so maybe if you got a friend, they can ride on it.
Right, right. So,
Stand on it going down a hill.
yeah. So, yeah, it was one of my collector bikes. You know, and
I used to have a 1964 Schwinn Varsity that I built myself, and it was a wonderful bike, but unfortunately it was destroyed when I was struck by a car last year. So that'll happen though, and you gotta watch out. Well, drivers need to watch out. So do bikers, pedestrians.
right,
You
right.
always gotta know your surroundings.
But the best part about it is,
Wear a helmet.
yeah, that's true. You know, the best part about it, though, is
What's that?
you're here.
Hmm?
So you came out all right.
I tend to have really good and bad luck. I usually get into accidents. I've been hit by a car 3 times, 4 times, but my injuries are always minimal, if any. So someone or something's looking out for me.
Okay. Which way do you go home when you leave here?
I usually go down to Holton, take that to Water Street,
Okay.
bike down Water to
Okay.
KK.
I'm just making sure I'm going in the opposite direction. no.
I might actually take the bus home today.
You know.
Unfortunately, policemen don't really like bikers that much, even if you have a backlight.
Well, you know, it gives them the opportunity to stop you.
Yep.
And the opportunity to question you.
Luckily, I've got nothing to hide though, so maybe I will bike home.
You know. Well, whichever way you do it, just do it safely. After I've heard that you had this many encounters,
Yes.
you know, to guarantee you got an angel over your shoulder. You know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Huh?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
That's what my mom's been telling me since I was about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I was born about 2 months premature, so
Okay. All right. Well, you look mature now.
yeah.
You know.
Everything was fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
had a little bit of bronchitis and my lungs were underdeveloped, but after maybe a month, I was fine. So
Yeah. God knows what He's doing. You know. You know. And you got to be up in your 20-something now.
yeah,
You know. So
about 24.
yeah. So yeah, you're mature. You know. So You know, I play with words. I'm sorry. That's the way I roll. That's the way I roll.
Radio's all words, so it's a good thing that you do that.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know. So, what did you come in tonight to get from the?
I got a movie that I was recommended to, or that was recommended to me by a friend called I Heart Huckabees. I know almost nothing about it.
I what?
I Heart Huckabees.
I Herc Huckabees.
Like
I Huckabees.
heart, like
Heart.
corazon.
Okay.
But I think it's about this guy who hires two private detectives to follow him around. I don't really know. It's supposed to be a dark comedy. And I also got the first season of Party Down, which is, it was a show on Stars, and it has Lizzie Kaplan and Adam Scott, who I don't know too much about them, but I've seen them on TV before. It's a show about a bunch of people trying to be actors out in Hollywood or something, and they all work for a catering company, and since
Okay.
I cook, I was kind of interested to see what they did with the show.
Interesting. Well, the only dark comedy I have ever seen was Martin Lawrence. What? That was the only one I ever seen.
Just the comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we was talking dark comedy.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie Murphy's all right too, And
Yeah. He might as well be white at this point. No, I'll take Richard Pryor over Eddie Murphy.
Oh yes, any day of the week, any day of the week, Richard Pryor is the man.
He is. He lit himself on fire, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and made $1 million off of it.
Yeah.
Who could do a comedian act on setting yourself on fire and make big bucks off of it? Richard Pryor. He was crazy enough to do it. He had the finesse, the style, and the grace, and to be able to laugh at his own relics.
And not to mention all the movies that he did with Gene Wilder.
Yes, yeah.
He was a Wisconsin native. So
Okay. Well, I didn't know Gene Wilder was a Wisconsin native.
that's what the Wikipedia says.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to take a deer out of the woods, I want her. But yeah, Richard, was an outstanding comedian, but and he had a great sense of humor.
Even when he was sober, he had a good sense of humor.
Oh yeah. Any way he rolled, actually, to grow up in a whorehouse, he came out pretty damn good. Yeah.
I'd imagine you become pretty well adjusted to life, living in a whorehouse, getting to meet a lot of different people, different perspectives.
Right. You see a lot of ups and downs. Hello, baby.
And maybe a little left to right too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
switch it up every now and then.
Yep. And that's so they give you outstanding perspective on life.
And then he shares that with us, and we gain
Knowledge
via that perspective.
through humor, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So, but Richard Pryor was one of the greatest comedians of all times.
And always will be.
Not necessarily so.
Well, at least,
You know,
500, 600 years from now.
Not necessarily so.
Yeah.
We have some young entrepreneurs out there. Because before Richard, there was Mom Maley. There was
Bruce. Lenny Bruce.
Lenny Bruce. I think Lenny Bruce got lost when they stopped messing with him, and then he flipped out.
Bill Hicks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of good comedians out there, but uh, Richard Pryor just happened to be a Renaissance comedian.
He could do it all. He could act. Well, did he ever? Did he ever sing?
Um,
I don't mean albums, but maybe in a movie or something like that.
that I don't know. That's a good question. If anybody out there can answer that question, call me at 414-935-2951. Call me. And let us know if Richard Pryor ever sang the song like I just did. It don't make no difference if it's an intro that he did or if he just sing Which Way Was Up. Let us know. So, under that presentation, let me go back to where I was at before, and I would talk with you on the flip side. But remember, 414-935-2951. Call me. Yes. I doubt if anybody going to call us, let us know if Richard Pryor was ever did that.
Yeah, probably not. It's a Friday night. Everyone's out doing what we do in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah. Tipping cows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a little cold for that, though.
Huh?
You don't want to slip and fall into a frozen cow pie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, never thought about that. That would be a shitty situation. Ooh, can't say that word. That would be a manure situation.
It's okay. FCC isn't listening.
Huh?
It's okay. The FCC probably isn't listening.
No, well, God is. Thank you. I ain't worried about the FCC. All I got to do with the FCC is change my name and disappear. Can't do that with JC.
Nope.
I think I'll change my name to Kane. Oh, yeah, we already got Kane. Yeah, he knows, So, hey, FCC, don't worry about him.
Yeah. Never do.
But JC, he ain't got he got a pretty decent sense of humor, But I've drank wine with the man before, Sorry, but anyway, back.
So, still comedians, I'm assuming.
Yes. We was talking about dark comedy, and then we ended up with black comedians. That was dark comedy, and so we went through the repertoire of if Richard Pryor ever sang a song that would threw me into that situation. That's where I was coming from when I just came back from where we was talking about dark comedy.
It's a nice little recap for those people just tuning in.
True that.
But no, these days I really like Louis C.K. as a lot of people do. He's got a show on FX called Louis that explores a very light and dark sense of reality, raising his children, just his views on life, and how jaded people can be, but also finding the humor in that. He also acts and writes. I know he doesn't sing. At least I don't think he did. But he's a really good up and comer. And I'd like to say Dave Chappelle is, but he kind of was at this point. You don't hear much from him these days. But you can still go back and watch Chappelle's show, and I still laugh. Even though I've seen it or heard it hundreds of times. Well, maybe not that much, but a good enough amount of times to know it.
Right.
It still makes me laugh. A blind black KKK member. Hilarious.
Well, yeah. That was a good show. That was a good one. I thought it was semi-appropriate. It was just like that was dark humor, but it just reflects like all of the gentlemen that was talking for Romney that were black, and they were coming forth and saying how great the Republican Party was, and that Democrats didn't do nothing for the blacks, and they were standing by the blacks, including Miss Rice. So that was actually symbolic of spin-off of what True Life was about. You know, he was just the black KKK was just a representation of our Uncle Tom. You know, and so Chappelle was very much um, an out in front of political unrest.
And he could get away with it because he made fun of everybody. Didn't matter.
True, true.
Republicans, Democrats, white, black.
Right. He was a comedian. You gave him a topic, and then he would elaborate on it and turn it into something funny. You know, and yes, like you say, he didn't cut no corners, and he didn't even cut corners on the junkies.
No.
You know, he made fun of them. Yeah.
Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely watch a lot of his stuff, don't you? His material.
See, I was in high school when all that was coming out, so, I mean, what are you going to do in high school except go to school, maybe go to work? You're at home a lot of the time. You end up watching TV, if only to talk about it at school with everyone else.
Well, when I was supposed to be in high school, I was in Vietnam. So I can tell you there was a whole lot more to do outside. Sit around and watch TV. But,
Yeah.
You know, but I got to sit around and watch the world. You know, so that was a good thing. That's a good thing. So, but yeah, well, I guess if you know if I had been, you know, sitting around watching TV, wow. I've been watching Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Chappelle wouldn't even been on the list. Matter of fact, they would have hung him back then.
When did MASH come out, though?
MASH came out
That's still...
68.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't that start up towards the end of the Vietnam War?
Yes, yeah.
Could have watched that. That was a good show.
Well, yeah, I caught a little bit of MASH. You know, it was a comedy relations, little cross relations of you know, Nam. But I never watched really any war movies after that, basically.
And why should you? You lived through the only war movie you ever really need to see.
Right. And that was more movie than I ever wanted to watch. You know, so yeah. But MASH was a good sit around. But I guess if I had to break down and to sit back and analyzing a TV program, it would have to be something like I Spy, CSI, something that's going to give me something to think about.
Law and Order, maybe.
Well, you know, if I can't figure out the story within the first 15 minutes, that's a good show.
It's a worthy investment.
Yeah.
Of your time.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. But most shows in the first 15 minutes, I know what's going on. I can just go ahead on. Yeah, it's no.
Some shows are so short, by the first 15 minutes, you're almost done with the episode, and you might as well just keep watching.
True that. What are you talking about? Little small show. But you know, but you know, I enjoy shows like the Usual Suspects. You know, those were my forte because it's analyzing.
You see, I go more for the escapist television. I don't have cable. I don't have a converter box. I watch most things either on my computer, which is rarely because my computer sucks, or I just come to River West Video and I get some movies or a show and I watch that, which is really nice because you can ingest a series in 1 or 2 sittings, 1 or 2 days if you really want to. Or you can come back, return it, and pick something else from the 30, 40 shows that they have here. So
30 and what?
30 or 40 different TV shows or
Oh,
the
because I've been saying, man, they got thousands of CDs in here. Yeah. And we're talking about River West Radio, 825 North East Center. Yes. So if you ever want a video, I can't advertise because I'm not supposed to be advertising. They tell me not to advertise but this is River West Radio, coming to you from River West Radio Video.
If you don't know about the rules, you can't break them, right?
Well, yes, you can.
Or maybe that just means no advertising.
How can you not know the rules? They got these great big signs up here that says producers and guests. No profanity, no advertising, no copyright music, and yes, clean up space when finished. And they did put a thank you on that though. But with that big old sign that you cannot say you're advertising. Well, I don't advertise for anybody because nobody pays me nothing. And that includes you, River West Radio. Nobody pays me nothing. They don't even pay attention to me. When I mention pay, everybody runs. You know. So, is there anybody out there? See, they don't pay attention to me. You were talking to me, and me talking to you, and we're talking to each other, and there's nobody else out there listening to whatever we had to say. But it's also can be come back on reruns. And look here, if you don't catch me today, I guarantee you're going to listen to me tomorrow. Somewhere along the line, you're going to listen to what I have to say. And I don't say too much anyway. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yes, River West Radio Video. Please come in and check it out sometime. And that's not an advertisement. I'm not being paid. You know, I'm just telling you what this man told me over here.
It's just how I feel about the place. It's a wonderful alternative to Netflix, but and it's a nice community place. It's great. You can come in, talk to people. I wouldn't have talked to you unless you asked me over, and we're having quite a wonderful conversation. So.
I wouldn't have talked to you if my guest had came up. No, I would have talked to you anyway. No, seriously. I messed with everybody that walks through this door. I enjoy people.
Me too.
And I can see that you enjoy life, because...
It's the only thing I know.
Huh?
It's the only thing I know.
Well, that's a good thing. But there's a lot of people know it, but don't use it and don't appreciate it, and they abuse it. And then they want to go around complaining about, woe is me. Woe is for a horse who eats hay, which is the first part of a, So.
I'm 50 or 60, what have I done with my life?
Yeah. Well, don't start there now. I'm past that stage.
And you've already said tonight you've been very happy with your life and have had no regrets and...
Oh, no.
You love it.
Yes.
I'm talking about the people that get to that age and are filled with regret and fear. And you don't seem like that kind of person.
Oh, no. And majority of them people are walking around looking like death on a popsicle stick.
Yeah, and spending their lives looking into their phone while they're walking or always plugged into something.
Right. They don't have a life.
Don't go onto your computer for a day. Read a book.
Oh, God, some people would die. I was in this place, and these two girls are sitting there texting. I mean, these kids.
Each other,
They were.
Were they really?
Yes, because one of them said to the other one, "What did you say?" And they had the brief conversation. She told her what she had said. Oh, okay. And they went back.
I mean, I get that if you're in a movie theater or something, even though that's really annoying to see someone pull out their phone and...
The little light flashing up there is annoying.
I mean, that little light up the whole row.
Right.
And it's distracting. But, I mean, I get it if you're in a place where you have to be quiet, maybe you have jury duty or something.
No, well, even jury duty, it's improper to just sit there and text somebody that's sitting next to you. Come on.
Somebody's life's held in the balance.
Step outside and talk. If it's got to be that quiet.
Or what's that important that I can't wait?
Right. Well, see, it's becoming more and more. We're isolating ourselves from each other, and see, that's what the government needs. That's what the government wants. That's what the government head is play each one against each other, as Scott Walker would say, "Hey, Scotty," you know, and play them against each other and pick their pocket. You know.
And then use all the money that they took out of your pocket to advertise to get votes and.
Right, and to plant you deeper into the ground.
Yeah.
You know. So, but like I say, we the people stood up this time and voiced our opinion, and we the people need to keep on going as we the people and improving our lives. You know, and improving the world around us.
And stay united.
And stay united. Thank you.
And informed.
Yes, yes, very much so.
There's nothing more dangerous than not informed. Somebody that's not informed.
Yes, yes. You know, very true, very true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, under the present circumstances of this beautiful evening, within the space of all time, as we walk through the memories of River West, we have to say we're giving you our best. So I want to thank my pleasant guest. Give me your name, if I may ask.
Andrew.
And here you go. He said so. His name is Andrew, I want you to know. And when you get the opportunity and you listen to this show, if you know Andrew, stop and say hello. So, the next show is about to start. I think it's Onion Breath Theater, which if you haven't tried onion breath, it smells great. Especially if they're, but we, you know the sweet ones, sweet onions. Vidalia, yeah. It's onion breath with Vidalia. There go my other host that's walking out the door. He already ate the food in the place and he's leaving. Yeah, bye. Love you. Mess with you. Oh, come on now, I'm playing. I made him sad. But anyway, Onion Breath's production is coming up next. And if you haven't listened to Onion Breath, then you haven't been breathed on. Because I tell you what, they will light up your life with different types of stories that it comes out of their mind. And if, hold on, Mr. Wilbur. Whose mind does the onion breath come out of, love?
It comes out of Jackie's mind.
It comes out of Jackie's mind. No, not my Jackie. She's not my Jackie. I'm not that lucky. She's somebody else's Jackie, but it's Jackie's mind. No, not my Jackie. Jackie thinks of it. So she.
You're Jackie?
Huh?
You're Jackie?
No, she's not my Jackie. She's Jackie's mind. Are you my Jackie?
I could be.
Huh? Oh, God knows. It's the big one. It's the big one. This beautiful woman just said that she could possibly be my... Oh, I would have a heart attack. Oh, God have mercy on my soul, because I tell you what, she looks so hot. Woo, woo, woo. Never mind. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as it always goes, life has to come to an end. But I'm not Jesus, but I'll be back again. I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger either, but I used to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger. But that was a different story and a different book. So, MIC, I'll see you real soon. K-E-Y? Why, Andrew?
K-E-Y.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Why what?
Why will we see them again?
Because tomorrow's a new day.
And we love you. M-O-U-S-E. Enjoy this mossy life that you have. See you next time. Same station, same place, same time. That's life. That's life. And I'm not a singer. Bye.